The YouTubers Destiny and Vegan Gains recently had a debate about veganism, and one of the key points brought up by Destiny was that he cares about maximizing human well-being, but not about non-human well-being.
My goal is to maximize human well-being.
So let's take a look and see if this argument holds. Now there's two ways of going about this. One is to look at the pattern of behavior he's displaying, and the other is to look at his meta-ethics. So let's start with the pattern. Our track record as humans shows that we've been on a trajectory of increasingly pulling more individuals into our circle of concern, something the philosopher Peter Singer refers to as the expanding circle. At one point, we were concerned with our family's well-being, then our tribe's well-being, then human well-being in general. But we didn't quite include Black people in that human category for a little bit. Then we were concerned that everyone's voices be heard, except for women, or some women, or Black people again, or some Black people, or sometimes not Jews, and on and on. So the trajectory has been to gradually pull more individuals into this circle, realizing that not including them was largely a way of rationalizing poor treatment, while maintaining the status quo and favoring our convenience, safety, and comfort over theirs. Slavery being maybe the most egregious and salient example of this. So I think when we say we just care about maximizing human well-being, we at least have to be a little suspicious of our own motives for not including other individuals, specifically here, non-human animals. We have to seriously consider whether we aren't using the same mental defense mechanisms as our predecessors. And to look at it another way, if the moral trajectory we've been on holds, we have to think eventually, and maybe not too far in the future, affording all individuals this consideration will be the norm, and our descendants will look back at us and be equally confused by how transparent our rationalizations were. Alright, so now let's talk about the meta-ethical grounding thing. So Destiny has already said he wants to maximize human well-being, which means we don't have to do any of the really dirty work of foundational meta-ethics, since his ethics already include valuing well-being. The only real hurdle we have to clear is the qualifier human. So think about how a narrow concern for human well-being would completely prevent us from being concerned about the well-being of early hominids, dolphins, chimpanzees, advanced AI, and perhaps most weirdly, aliens. Imagine Klingons were real sentient aliens. Would it make sense to not be concerned about their pleasure or pain simply because they had weird-looking foreheads, a different biology, and they didn't originate on Earth? When Destiny watches a sci-fi movie, does he feel any emotions towards the troubles and tragedies of non-human aliens? Or does this just fall completely flat for him? Or imagine you go back in time and torture Neanderthals. Would Destiny say he has no opinion on whether or not that's a good or bad thing? Now Destiny might object that Klingons and Neanderthals are human-like, which fits his revised definition. Okay, fine. But I think we should take a second to underscore how with a little philosophical pushback, people so often start ceding this definitional ground. Because remember, Destiny isn't the first person to voice this objection. So then let's imagine another type of alien. Let's say it's an asexual amorphous blob that communicates telepathically. And let's say it's silicon rather than carbon-based. This seems the picture of not human-like. But crucially, it can still feel pleasure and pain. Does it make sense to not include this blob in our circle of concern? If someone wanted to torture one of these blobs, does it make sense to remain neutral on that point? Now let's go crazy and add one more layer of hypothetical. Let's say it turns out this blob is a shapeshifter, and not just like the illusion kind. It can literally rearrange its molecules into any configuration, including a human, though it still retains its mind through some weird alien technology. Would Destiny then say that the blob falls outside our moral concern until the exact moment it shapeshifts into a human, and then remains our concern until the exact moment it reblobifies? Maybe he would, but it seems to get increasingly difficult to do so. And the reason it seems difficult is because the kernel of relevance here is an ability to have positive and negative experiences, not the presence of some or a totality of human features. Alright, so there's definitely a few other interesting things Destiny and Vegan Gains say in this debate, so let me know in the comments if you'd like to see another video of me addressing those points.